Hello everyone! Today we are going to the Hellfire Pass, located in Kanchanaburi, 144 kilometers north of Hua Hin, and very famous for the construction of the bridge over the River Kwai during World War II. For this, we are going to the Hellfire Pass Interpretation Centre, renovated in 2018. Here you will find information and exhibitions about the construction of the Death Railway and the suffering and sacrifices made during its construction. From the reception, you can walk straight to an overhanging structure where you have a beautiful view of the surroundings. Within the distance, a view of neighbouring Burma, also known as Myanmar. Through a corridor, where the names of the thousands of prisoners of war who perished are inscribed on the walls, you enter the museum with extensive multimedia presentations, artifacts, and a monument in memory of those who lost their lives. In 1942, the Japanese fought the British in Burma with the goal of reaching India. To ensure successful resupply, the Japanese needed a safer and faster route between Singapore and Rangoon. Consequently, they decided to construct a 415-kilometre-long railway line from Bampong in Thailand to Thambiuzayat in Burma. However, this route was not easy because it ran through mountains and jungles. For this purpose, the Japanese employed some 250,000 Asian labourers and more than 60,000 prisoners of war from Australia, Great Britain, the United States and the Netherlands. The railway line was completed in October 1943. As part of the museum visit, it is possible to walk through the excavation itself and along a section of the former railway bed. You have a choice of two routes. The first one, marked in blue colour, is the shortest and most scenic, with numerous sights. The second yellow part is considerably longer and more suitable for the experienced hiker. For this longer trail, you will also be provided with a walkie-talkie. The hike to the railway bed starts from the visitor centre, following a magnificent group of staircases through the surrounding forest, which also offers some shade. This is very welcome, as temperatures here can easily rise up to 38 degrees Celsius or more, so be sure to bring plenty of water and wear good walking shoes. The museum is free to enter and is located quite far from the city of Kanchanaburi, about 80 kilometres northwest of the current River Kwai Bridge, and close to the border with Myanmar. It actually consists of two parts, the museum and the walking path. You will also find shops and eateries around this complex. We combined this trip with an overnight stay at the beautiful Oriental Kwai Resort near Kanchanaburi, so you have extra time and can visit multiple nearby locations. You can find the link to the resort in the description. As mentioned earlier, the walk along the railway bed consists of two parts. The first part is approximately 1 kilometre long, along a beautiful and flat gravel path, where you will encounter various points of interest along the way. At the end of this first section, you will find a memorial stone among different artefacts from the time of the railway construction. The second section starts from the memorial stone and ends at the end of the railway bed and is 3 kilometres long. The path itself is fairly flat, but you regularly have to go over stairs and hills, making it quite a long walk with little natural shade. Also, keep in mind that you have to walk back, so be well prepared before attempting to complete the entire route. Meanwhile, I have arrived at the start of the railway bed trail and am walking past a guided group. You can also opt for an audio tour with devices that provide more information at each numbered location. Or you can choose to look up information in advance so you know what there is to see. There are also regularly large signs along the train bed with a detailed explanation of the present location.
Yes.
14, test.
Yes, 6 here.
Thank you, 14.
Okay, thank you.
As you could hear, I received a call on my walkie-talkie asking if everything was okay. You get this device at the museum if you want to explore the second part of the trail as well. Here you can see a sign with an explanation of what there is to see and what happened here during the construction of the railway. The name Hellfire Pass comes from the way of cutting a railway with forced labour during World War II. The pass is noted for the harsh conditions and heavy loss of life suffered by its labourers during construction. It was called Hellfire Pass because the sight of emaciated prisoners labouring by burning torchlight resembled a scene from hell. The Hellfire Pass in the Tenasserim Hills was a particularly difficult section of the line to build, a dramatic cutting some 75 metres long and 25 metres deep. It was the largest rock cutting on the railway, coupled with its general remoteness and the lack of proper construction tools during building. A short section of railway has been laid at this location as an impression of what it looked like at the time. And here is a guide giving some explanations to a group of visitors. Let's listen on what he has to say.
So, where you see the picture, the distance very clear. You see the picture? That before the picture.
Yeah. Oh, the people.
Yeah.
The hospital.
Yeah. Come in here. That's you look. That's before where you see on the way.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
where you see already. Oh yeah. Okay, before.
That was at least free and useful information about what was hanging on the rock face. He also told us that the prisoners of war were required by the Japanese to work 18 hours a day to complete the cutting. 69 men were beaten to death by Japanese guards in the 6 weeks it took to build the cutting, and many more died from cholera, dysentery, starvation, and exhaustion. While we see here a kind of communication line on the wall, we continue walking through the famous deep carved section. You will notice at some places different remembrances signs hanging on the wall. It's also good to know that the railway was never built to a level of lasting permanence and was frequently bombed by the Royal Air Force during the Burma campaign. After the war, all the present sections were closed and became part of this museum railway pad. The Hellfire Pass Memorial Museum and the preservation of the Hellfire Pass itself had its origins in 1983, when former POW Tom Morris toured the area in Thailand and resolved to convince the Australian government that portions of the Death Railway should be preserved as a historical site. Thanks to his efforts, the Snowy Mountains Engineering Corporation was commissioned in 1984 to make a survey of the railway to choose a suitable site to realise everything as it looks everything as you can experience now. At the end of the carved railbed, we arrive at the previously mentioned memorial stone in honour of all the forced labourers who died during the construction of this railway. It is also the end of the first and shortest trail, where you will find numerous objects that were used during the construction of the Hellfire Pass. In addition to the various objects you will find here, there is also one of the many signs with a detailed description of this location. This sign with the number 9 indicates your location on the map you received upon departure and lets you hear the explanation if you brought an audio guide with you from the museum. Across from this location, you can see a staircase leading to a higher plateau. Let's go there and see what there is to see up there. Before the end of this vlog, I would like to ask you to give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to activate the bell so you stay informed of new content. And also take a look at my other videos of the places I have visited in this region. Once you are at the top, you will find another section of railway with a railway cart used to transport rockstone during construction. There are also a number of signs with information about the Phai Nuan cave. To reach that cave, you have to walk for 50 metres along the railroad track. As I descend once again to the end of the first section of the train bed trail, I will immediately show you the route to the second and longest part of the trail. I hiked part of it myself, but had to turn back halfway. Above you will find a link to a video made by a friend who hiked the trail all the way to the end. I will also place the link to this movie below in the description. If you plan to walk the entire trail at Hellfire Pass, it takes around 3 hours to do the whole loop. To save time and energy doubling back, you can arrange for the driver to pick you up on Hintok Road at the end of the trail. To walk the second part of the trail, you need to go through this stairway. On my way back towards the museum, I believe the Hellfire Pass is a place of remembrance, a peaceful setting where visitors can look out over views of the Tenasserim Hills that form a natural barrier between Thailand and Burma. The natural beauty and serenity of this area add poignancy to the tragic history. I am almost back at the stairs and, as you can hear, exhausted from wanting to hike the second part of the trail as well. Unfortunately, it was too hot for me to undertake the entire trek. Moreover, in my opinion, there is little to see on the second part. You only walk along the railway bed. Before visiting Hellfire Pass, it's recommended to visit the Don Sak War Cemetery, located near Kanchanaburi train station. Adjacent to the cemetery, the excellent Death Railway Museum and Research Centre provides more background on the railway and the conditions the men endured. There is also another immaculately kept war cemetery at Chung Kai, just outside of town. For those unable to walk unaided, a gold buggy service is available. This takes visitors through the cutting and as far as the memorial, but is not available for the second half of the trail. Although trips to Hellfire Pass can be organised as part of a day trip from Bangkok, it's worth spending at least a few days in Kanchanaburi. This gives you time to discover more of the wartime history. And if your itinerary allows for an extended stay, there is much to see and do in Kanchanaburi beyond the wartime sites.
Ik ben gegaan tot 22.
I just told myself that I walked the trail till point 22 of the second part of the trail, but couldn't go further anymore. We are almost at the end of this vlog, and I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up. Even better, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you get notified of new videos. Thank you, stay healthy and well, and hopefully we'll see each other again next time.
It was heavy. And my heels were